Nice to have you here again.
Thank you. Nice to have
Uh,
you.
so for while we're waiting, I'm just gonna explain a little bit what is gonna be this call today. Yeah, I'm gonna first do a really bad introduction, then I'm gonna leave the space to Chimo that is more prepared. Uh, but the bad introduction to today's call is about we are gonna discuss this project itself, okay? The community that we are building. This community is a DAO, is a decentralized autonomous organization, so has a series of system that we use for governance and to connect and work together. And we have also an economy that we are trying to build, and there is a few and a philosophy. That is the most important thing. That's the word that I was looking for. So, and we have this philosophy that is called augmentatism. This augmentatism, it's is the idea of getting augmented by AI, but also from the community itself and also by ourselves. The There are some elements as this philosophist is also telling, which is there is like a one single rule that is the rule of anti-capture. The idea is that we believe in other people's sovereignty, so our action should be not to capture someone else's sovereignty, and which is beautiful on one side and really challenging on the other, because most of the business model that we see out there, they're actually doing the capturing. Every social network, any company, everything is trying to capture human sovereignty in a way or another. So it's a beautiful concept, but it's really hard to apply. And so far, we've been successful, and today we are gonna also discuss these elements because as soon as we start adding things, we might risk the creation of capturing. But if done properly, it's not gonna be a problem. And we are gonna also discuss the fact that there is the DAO, okay, this large community, and this community is built to host a lot of other community inside. So it's a community of communities. So, and another thing that we need to clarify is the meaning of leadership and what is my role within this DAO. That's more or less the meaning of today. So before we start, if anybody has something that related to the meeting or not related to the meeting, and it's a good moment to share. Otherwise, I don't know if Chimo, you want to lead this first
No, maybe,
part.
maybe if anybody has anything that's not related to the meeting that we need to discuss, we can get that sorted and then we can start discussing. Nope. Okay.
No.
Now, this,
May I raise a question in the beginning? I don't know when to give it, but it might be a good idea to do it in the beginning because I don't know how it works. So, is that procedure talking once a week about that and bringing that forward with whoever joins this meeting? And is this a decision taking meeting or a suggestion making meeting? How
so
does it work?
yeah, so that's part of what we need to discuss.
Ah, okay.
What do we want in place? And you will notice that some people want a lot in place, and then Manolo will say there's nothing in place. But there is a place for things when you are within a community and not within the whole DAO. So that's the first thing we need to know is what do we want in place? Do we want some kind of system that helps us understand? Do we want to have regular meetings to set up? Because that's what how this came up. Some people were asking, shouldn't be we discussing this to see how we put it into effect? So that question was the start of this meeting today. Is yeah, and the answer was yes, of course, we need to start talking about this, even if it's to clarify some basic, the ground floor. Because there will be some people here that would like to have a system that looks more like laws, you know?
Hmm.
There will be. We're many
Well,
people. How do we handle the different tendencies, the different ways people think about this? We need to be clear. So, how do we communicate the manifesto in this aspect, the consequences of the manifesto? Because reading the manifesto is not enough, I think.
So may I ask another question? So if we are talking, if I understand it right, we are talking about the way how we get from now to the future. Is this picture that we all want, is that part of the discussion where in an ideal world and we are fixing all of these problems and we are agreeing on a way forward, where are we at the end? Is that, I mean, of course, I don't understand that because I'm new. Is that a shared and common thing that everyone knows where we are, what we have in mind, the final goal? Or are we finding that out during the way? Or how would
Or,
that work?
or for me, is finding out that's how you see it. I see it the opposite way. For me, it's all, and I mention this all the time, Conway's law. And it is so important. The way we behave, how we communicate determines how that is applied in the future. So for me, unless we embody what's going to happen in the future, I don't believe that we're going to make it. We need to start living that way. It's not only that we need to have the rules and the systems and the beliefs, is how we behave, what we do, how we communicate is fundamental. That's for me. But that's what we need to discuss today.
Yeah.
Vlad?
I was reading the manifesto again, and I think one of the things that maybe could be improved, it's because every time it says word building, and I think word building get this idea of more smaller communities inside of the DAO and everything together. It's always tied to AI. We don't have it like a societal level. So I think this makes people think it's all about AI, and maybe we should improve it.
thank you. And yeah, I think the same. It started for a reason to be like this, but it started to be like I'm gonna share my vision why it started to be like this. So it's all connected to this augmentatism. And augmentatism is something that is connected to AI augmenting what we can do. And uh, and that was the discovery that we find out, at least I did, that through AI, I could do more than I could have been before. I feel like I have superpower. And that is an incredible feeling and it's extremely empowering. But then by keep working, I realized that that feeling of superpower is not connected to the AI. It's connected to understanding that there is a bigger shift. And the shift is to simplify, is to moving from be a consumer to be a producer, a creator. Okay, that is the superpower. Is be a creator is the superpower. And AI allowed every one of us to be creators in a way or another to a level that was unimaginable before to each one of us. Maybe some people is different, okay? But I'm talking about my experience, and a lot of people are experiencing this in a similar way. And I am a creator. Okay, I'm not like I'm not. I'm an artist. I did fine art. I did the painting. I did the sculpture. I did the music, photography. That is all I've done in my life. Okay, so I am already on the side of the creator. But this augmentation through AI was opening my eyes to another level. Then I realized that once you have this superpower, actually, it's not about AI. It is about believing that you can actually be a creator. You can change the world. You can do things that the limit were more cultural, more psychological than real. AI just was the tool to unlock it. So when this augmentatism started because AI was unlocking these abilities. But then I now see that this is was a tool for unlocking, was not the augmentatism itself, was not what I was augmenting me. If makes sense, hopefully, some sort of sense. So that's why the philosophy, augmentative document, is heavily built around this AI. But there is, regarding the world building, it's connected to another thing. It's the fact that each one of us has their own reality, own world. And now through AI, we are building it. And we are building this much more complex, much more advanced reality because now we are not basically alone. We have an AI that supports this complex task of building. And each one of us, in a way or another, we have been building worlds. Uh, and during this journey of building the community, I realized that I believed that my world was the correct one. You know, the bigger mistake you can do, thinking I'm the right one. Okay. And that is the element that I realize, wait a second. I don't need to understand or approve anyone world. I just need to understand that they are building a world that is important for them, and that is what is important. Is the fact that they exist, the fact that it's different from mine. That's why there is value. I don't need to understand. I don't need to agree with the world. I need to understand that they are doing a journey similar to mine, but connected to a different world. And that is the beauty, is this multi, is this fact that is extremely different from mine. And that's what makes their world valuable. So sometimes by mistake and between people we were at the beginning of this community were like challenging our world that we were building. Okay, with my AI I can do this, with my AI I can do this thing. Okay, with little stuff was challenging AI against AI to challenge our own capabilities of those our own world. So for whatever reason, I built a really strong world. So my world was really tough to attack. It was kind of heavy on others. At that moment, when I gave pain to someone, I realized how wrong I was. The moment that I felt that I was winning a stupid battle, okay, that is the world building that augmentation want to do. Is not capturing your world, is empowering your world. No, there is no one world that is right, and the value is in our diversity. Is not in the best, more powerful, more winning, the most logical or whatever it is world that we are building. So the world building is connected to the respect of these diversity that we have.
Yeah, but applied to all consequence, it's kind of like we can build our own community inside of the DAO. So that's
Yes.
why, because we respect. So yeah.
Exactly. That's how the, the DAO of the DAOs came out. The community of communities came out.
Right.
Could you define what you meant by world again, please? Like the world.
Uh, uh, to simplify, okay? To simplify, I'm gonna make it so extremely complex. But to simplify, it's each one of us in understand the external world from our own senses. Okay, our senses that are different. Okay, we see colors differently, sound differently, I understand the physics differently, everything. Each one of us has an interpretation of the world, of the reality. By discussing to each other, we agree on some rules about this reality. Okay, some behavior, some colors, some feelings, and so on. But nevertheless, each one of us has their own world, their own reality. That is meta layer of the world. Now, as a community, we can build our own reality. So a world is a reality. It can be a community, can be an idea, can be whatever. Okay, but coming from that kind of a perspective, is your human interpretation of reality, your personal one or collective one, is the world. I don't know if it makes sense. If you have more questions, I can try to answer.
It does.
No, that has helped to clear it up for you. Thank you.
Does anybody understand how important is that what Manolo said? People have arguments because they're talking about the same subject, but the way how they receive the information is completely different. And they go into an argument because they're not able to see the other person, that he's, there is I don't know how to say, it's like a clear communication. And because we have all different filters and also memories of previous events that makes you upset, so suddenly you react to something. If you are a little bit more neutral to receive the communication, you have a better outcome instead to go to an argument. So this is what Manolo mentioned, the filters. It's what makes this chaos in this planet, because nobody listens to each other. They don't really realize they're talking about the same thing, or we are not listening to the other person. So that aspect is a very important.
So it's almost like a universal translator.
Yeah, or we have to be more acceptance. It's like, if we want someone to listen to me, I have to have acceptance to someone else also describe better things I don't understand, but I'm very gentle to say, hey, can you repeat this? And we can come up to the correct understanding of the subject without going into friction. And that means you need to be aware that sometimes it gets through your ear and you're not listening. But nobody can come tell you, it's like, hey, you're not listening, because I receive that like an attack. But if I'm responsible, that I have a brain that sometimes jumps and I don't listen, I have to take a responsibility that by not listening and being reactive, I can create a problem. Is that understood a little bit?
Yeah,
So
100%.
it takes more effort on my side to be aware of my own crap, to stay and be respectful. So that's basically, I'm saying like that. Nobody can come and tell me something, but I'm the one who needs to be the aware, And that's, I think, is augmentism, because that position about me being responsible is going to allow me to learn from my own mistakes and be a better person and co-collaborator by, doing what I need to do in order to, as a team, arrive to what we want to work. So.
And the important aspect, like I shared in this, it's that we learn from our mistakes. So mistakes are gonna happen, okay? And you apologize if you if you try your best to fix it. But we are gonna make mistakes. I made mistakes. I improved because I made those mistakes, and almost everything that is built in this community comes from a series of mistakes, and now we have something better. So that is the journey. Uh, be, before coming here to this call, I recorded like an hour conversation with myself about what I wanted to talk about during this call. And my idea was to come back home, plug to the computer as I usually do, my recorder, and get out and have everything organized. But of course, it didn't work. and but now it's done. The problem here is that I never read it. I never had a chance to fix it. What I'm gonna do is probably turn this into an article that I'm gonna post on Substack for the community to read and understand. But what I discussed during the recording uh, was what is this DAO? Why I'm building it? And so it was the why, the what, and the how. And then also my role and in this. I'm gonna explain, like I said, I'm gonna share it into a post, so it will be more structured and clear. And maybe I can share the recording because, to be honest, the recording was really beautiful. At least I loved it because it was really honest about what it is and had a really high level of clarity. Um, I really wish that I would have that kind of clarity in a meeting, but alone in the outdoor with the green trees, it's much easier. But what is the DAO? It's what is this community that I want to build? It's it's trying to solve a series of problem. It's not one, and there is a reason why it cannot be just one problem to solve because all those problems are interconnected, and they created the life that we are living inside. Okay, this the world that we are, where we are. The DAO has this massive ambition to create a parallel reality where we can experiment a different way of organizing ourselves as a society, as a community, as an individual, for for many different levels. So from the problem that we had is we in a far distance in the past we used to be decentralized. We used to work as a tribes, as a small groups. Each one was responsible for the entire tribe, for their survival, and they didn't need someone to tell them what to do. They would just do it for the benefit of the community. And that changed over time because the community became too big that then you don't know your neighbors, you don't understand what's going on. Uh, Sorry, if you're not talking, yeah, thank you, because there is some noise in the background. So there is this. The world changed because we scaled up. But there are some advantages that came the moment that we scaled up, but also a lot of disadvantage. But looking at the advantage, we start to learn from each other even more. Okay, we share our knowledge. We improve our health system because of this. We created, a lot of benefit that came from working together at larger scale. Problem that couldn't be solved from a small community became possible at a larger community. But then we also had the problem of concentration of power, the problem of policing each other, not trusting each other, and so on. And then, of course, corporations started to emerge and optimization, and then this idea of extracting become so powerful that now it seems like normal that someone can just become a billionaire and everybody should celebrate that person as a winner over the system, and instead of looking at all the problem connected to the system itself, the good education, the everything else is a mess. And then those social network that instead of creating friends actually divided them. The dating side, instead of connecting more, they actually, I don't know what's happened to these, to those relationship romance. It just getting more and more tough, harder and harder. The removal of friction was the tool to make our life easier, and then we pass the level of easier. And now we become like enslaved by this need of uh, entertainment. Like TikTok is ruining the movie and the music itself because now people can't watch a movie; it's too long, and you can't listen an entire song because it's too long. and so on. So there is a lot of elements that come out that change the way that we work. And that is a series of problems that create a cascade. The school have been optimized to pass exams and not to learn anything. And then it's not even the exam is not enough. Now they need to, give you a job. So it's not about what you know, how you think. It's are you able to make money at the end? That is the whole process. So education become really lost the value of it. And this is happening on so many levels. Now, the moment that we need to redesign the structure of society, and we can do it within our community, our DAO, we can fix everything at once. Okay, because fixing one problem in reality won't fix anything because it's everything is connected to each other. So the first element that the DAO needed to do is to create an environment where this can change, where we can be different from what is happening out there. And what I find amazing that it's happening first of all, and it was not that difficult. It takes time, it takes courage, it takes some kind of minds. But I saw many people here from being passive observer to be leading community and events and the discussion, building software together. So I saw that we created that environment that was needed for us to grow and learn and improve and so on. So that is the reason why uh, we are building the DAO. Now, I say we are building because it's a collective effort. Okay, but if we go a year ago, when I started building the DAO, I was alone. So I had a vision. That's all I had. Okay, I had a vision of what it can happen, of building something that never been built before and believing in that vision alone on my own. I strategized and I said, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to start something that I'm not good at, I've never done in my life. And I'm 53 years old, I think, when I started. And I don't know how to do it. And it's kind of, you need to put your humility in front of you and say, okay, I'm going to start to show how I'm not good at something in front of everybody. And but I'm gonna be honest about it. I'm gonna be creating those frequency of resonance that through my mistakes, through my learning, from my ambition, from my curiosity, from the discovery that I'm doing through AI. I can find, share those frequency with others that maybe resonate, they start to join the community. And that's how it's happened. It took so much work, so much effort to make this happening. And now we are here where we are. And on one side, I can say, wow, this is amazing event that is happening. And then when I see the quality of this, of, uh, of the people part of the community and the people that are present at those calls, it's just unbelievable. And therefore, I see that there is another mechanism happening. So I believed in a vision, okay, in building the world that I had in my mind. And through my other philosophy called the cosmos destiny, that believe in the destiny is not pre-designed, but it's something that is unfolding in front of me. And if I resonate in a certain way, the destiny will resonate with me, and that will create the future that I want. Somehow this is happening, and we saw over and over that we had just to resonate to some frequencies, and then the problem would be solved. Now, when I say this, sounds like magic. When we're talking about frequencies, it's behavior, it's action. It's not like I'm thinking like there, I'm gonna, create my frequency. No, no, I'm actually, it's an action, is a frequency. Okay, it's daily coming to those call is the frequency that I'm talking about. Showing up, doing 3 videos a day, a week, is the frequency. Okay, that is actual action. That is what I'm talking about. So all those things, all those action, it brought to where we are. So what is my vision about the DAO? Is to solve all of this, but by first of all changing who we are And I can't decide how you're gonna change. I can't design what you should be. What I can create is an environment where this is possible, where it's possible to change. Then you are the one that needs to change. You are the one that needs to make those mistakes, accept the mistakes, and carry on, connect with others, and build. So I'm not the designer of your future. What I'm trying to build is the environment where those worlds can be built without being judged. Because I've been there, I saw it, I made the mistakes, and I know what I shouldn't do and how I should empower others to do the same. There is so much to talk. Okay, in my recording, honestly, it was an hour non-stop of sharing this vision and everything else. But I want to add another elements. So the what I'm building it's it's my vision. Okay, doesn't mean that this is what we need to build or what you need to build. This is what I'm building, and what I'm trying to in commerce try to uh, uh, not convince, because I don't work in that way. But if you know what I mean, it's I want to lead other people to follow this path. But the path is that I'm trying to lead is not the path of I'm gonna remove the friction from you. I'm gonna make your life easier. I'm gonna do everything so you can enjoy the life of a customer for my vision. No, I'm gonna just say this is what I'm seeing. This is where we want to go. I have an idea of how this uh, community should work, and how we can have a finance that can actually, and I show in other calls, we can bring a few billions dollars inside the community. So we cannot just have ideas, but we have the finance to turn those ideas into real project, into real uh, whatever, something. And the importance of becoming self-sufficient, maybe not everybody can see it. Not everybody needs to participate in that aspect. But for me, I can see that there is too many projects are failing because they are not sustainable. And we have an opportunity, which is huge, because we're building something that is in some way it's never been built before, and what we are building has a value by itself, and we can capitalize on the value. So I see this whole design for in my mind is more or less clear, but it's a vision. Okay, and some people are asking me, yeah, so what is your position? You are the leader of this community, and I always been said, no, I'm not the leader of this community. I don't want to lead. And I got some feedback about this. It doesn't mean that if you don't want to lead, you're not leading. And if you're not leader, if you believe that you're not leader, that other people will see you in that way. And the real reason why I say that I'm not leader, because what I'm doing, I'm building, and I lead by example. I don't lead by telling other people what to do. I just do it myself. If you want to do it with me, amazing. Let's do it together. But I don't lead by telling other people what to do. I'm telling that I will respect your word, and I will support your word, but I won't give you the power to say that your word is better than anybody else and other people should follow your word. I will only say your word has a value even if I don't understand it. So, what I'm leading towards is building the DAO, which is the community of communities. And this is different from what most people want, that is the leader of a specific community. Now we are a specific community. We are the community of the pioneers that are building the DAO. So there is a community there. But I don't think that I should be somehow distracted by managing the community. I should be focused on building the DAO, building the larger community, bringing people inside, creating the token economy, building the infrastructure, and then building the community. And this is the vision. 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 And this is building all it's needed to allow everybody else to create the community inside, because the value are the community. The infrastructure is what allow us to exist. So what I'm trying to build is the infrastructure. What I'm sharing is my vision, and I hope hopefully people uh, find something to learn from how I behave, and I don't want to tell anybody want to what to do. It's more about creating an environment where things can happen. If there are questions, of course, I'm happy to answer. I didn't go too deep because there is so much to talk. It's better that people ask questions. Chimo, go ahead.
So that was keeping it superficial. Yeah. What I'm wondering is, many people here will be here mostly about the outcome, the DAO, and about many people here will be about today only, about belonging to a community, learning, sharing, and for me, it's the simple act of construction. It's neither. It's for me, it's the process, what I engage with. So for me, it's kind of a question to you, but also an invitation to everybody to understand that you can engage in this in whatever level suits you. You can engage in this for this month and get a lot out of it, and we will get a lot out of you. And then time will say how long you stay, if you know. But some people with the view of the far future and what when that world exists and you have your DAO within the DAO, that's also another path that also works.
Uh, Sorry, Jim, I'm not 100% sure I understood your question.
Neither am I. I'm just inviting people to understand that they can identify themselves with whichever position, whether it's just today, I just care about learning today and enjoying a community and building, or I am in the ultimate goal. I am
Yeah.
here mostly because I want this to be delivered and this to be realized. Those are very different positions, but those work the same for me. So my question to you is that something that you see in the same way, at the same time as inviting people to understand that they can belong to this in whichever way they choose to? How does that sound to you? Is my question.
Yes. Sorry. Thank you much. So first of all, before I start, if you want to talk, please raise your hand so there is a queue of people that they
Uh,
can talk.
Sorry for not knowing it. How can I raise my hand? I have looked
So
everywhere. How do I do that?
on the bottom should be the symbol of the heart. You click on it,
Yeah.
and then you see raise hand like this.
Ah, okay.
Uh,
I don't see the hand, but I can take
You
this
see the
one.
heart, yeah. You click.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna be anyway after. Still, you're gonna be you talking. Okay. Everybody else, if they want to talk, please raise your hand.
Ah, I have it.
Uh,
Got it.
thank you. Um, so, two things I want to say. One is about what you asked, Chim, and the other is about the people that are present probably today, what are needed today. So first of all, the for me always about the process. Process is the present, so it's the life. Okay, the vision is what allow you uh, to design also the present, so you go into a specific direction. At least this is how it works for me. So I have a vision. I see, okay, now I know what to go. I know what I'd like to explore. That gives me the energy to actually do things every day. But it's all about the process, always. So the process is where you learn, where your emotion grow, and you feel things, you feel life. You connect with people. So it's the process is everything. Okay, the vision is where you push your energy towards. And sometimes is if you have a bad day, you think about the vision. So you say, okay, this is why I'm doing it, and but you don't enjoy the vision. What you enjoy is the process of building, of working, collaborating, and so on. So I'm with you on that part. Regarding the people of today, so the DAO is a challenging space, and it might stay challenging forever, in the sense compare to what is out there, TikTok, okay, just to understand, where it's all about removing maximum friction from you uh, and be entertained. Yeah, this DAO will never be, at least the DAO that I want to build is never going to be like that. Okay, friction is part of our life and is extremely important for us to grow and get better, improve, and socialize and everything. So it's never going to be as easy as what is out there. What we are building is something that is tough. And at the moment, because there's nothing that is physical out there, there is a vision, and what is physical is our meeting, our ideas, our building the Resonant OS, and so on. That is something that is starting to happen, but require people with the courage of walking the unknown. So it's not an easy path. It's not for everybody. So if you're thinking, I want this to be to work in a specific way, there is two things that you can do. One, wait for someone else to build it, or build it. Okay, there is these two reality in somehow. There is, of course, it's never binary. There is always everything in the middle. You help a little bit and wait. But if you simplify, if something is missing at this moment, it's normal. Okay, there is no. We are building it. So if you want this easy path, it's not going to happen. So at the moment, this is a place for those pioneers, for those people that want to walk the unknown and build the unknown in the sense they never built before, and and by doing so, learn from each other, support each other, build a side project, and so on. So it requires a specific kind of mind. This has been like this for a year. Now, because we have started to grow, there is a moment of thinking, and this is also the meeting. What is this today meeting about? We are starting to see the possibility to build those community within the community. Okay, those smaller groups. And those smaller groups can have power structure, can have rules, and can have everything else that you might need within a specific community. But again, it's I'm building the the top layer, let's say. Uh, did I answer your question, Shimon, or I forgot something? Thank you. Estella.
I feel like if you have a vision and you want to learn something, what I realize is when I joined, I really encountered the aspect of augmentation in terms of I was seeing AI and the models and everything from one viewpoint, but joining the community, suddenly I start to understand other aspects, and I saw the need of starting to think different and even to expand my way of. So I really felt physically like I was in a little circle, and suddenly being part of a community, I was starting to, expand my space and recognizing areas, I would like to improve. And the collaboration and the sharing with so many people is very, very, how you call it? It's very like a beautiful. And you feel that reception of what the people share. So it's hard for me to see this isolated because specifically this module is the one that allows you to comprehend how valuable a person, the value the person has, and how can feel more confident and empower themselves to make a difference. And so this community is like a playground where we can be ourselves with no judgment, because the word judgment is very heavy outside. I don't need to prove anything to anybody. And I just allow myself to be, and I trust, like I said before, trying to be responsible because I'm difficult. So I recognize that. So, but my gratitude is to the space is given for us to dive into a new way, because it's like, if you don't do it, you're never gonna know the experience. You have to experience in order to have an idea. Or the same like in Manolo, you say, you have to go and do it in order to see if you create a model and it's aligned with your vision. Otherwise, you redo it and try again. But because there is no judgment in this space, that's an incredible playground to self-discover and to create something different. And for me, the structure is almost like someone said the other day, like, oh, like a round, like a circle. Yeah, like the round table. This is like a round table where everybody's sitting in a circle, like in the kindergarten. But it's an horizontal, everybody's valuable. And I think there's something to think about it, not to take decision, is to give it a try and practice and uncover what does it mean, and we can share each other how is this experience, and not try to be so corporate. Oh, we need to solve this. No, what are we discovering? What do we see as positive, and what do we see we need to kind of adjust it and build it together? Because everybody has a different, like you said, perception, but it's could be a really valid perception. And take it as a team, And that's what I just want to share. It's like we need to think about this with ourselves. And it's like, what do I want? Do I want to prove myself I'm a genius, powerful person? Or do I find myself, I'm capable to do different things, and makes me happy I can do something different? Or make a difference to bring something better. What make us the abundance within? Is it the money? Is it the ego? I'm sorry if I'm straightforward today. Yeah? I'm tough today. What does it feed you yourself? Do you need to prove your existence, or do you want to be and bring the abundance you have inside and share with others? Because that's what knowledge is. That's what the people they brought into this planet, they mentor. They didn't sow their knowledge. They put seeds on the planet so other trees come and grow. So I'm difficult today because I think we need to face ourselves in the mirror and look at ourselves and say, what do we want in this life? What are we here for? Where's
Thank
the
you.
beauty? Is the beauty aesthetic and just a shell? Or is the beauty what is inside ourselves, that we can be supportive, compassion, smart, genius, being funny? That's frequency. So which kind of antenna are we? What are we emitting? So that's what I want to bring to everybody, like reflect, because whatever we transform inside this space, we're bringing it home. And if you become a better person and a better radio station, you're going to have a nice home, because that same music is inside your house and you share with your family. So that's the responsibility I'm talking about. Whatever comes from this mouth has an impact. And so that's the only thing, the reflection I want to say, which kind of impact we want to do. So.
Thank you, Estella. And yes, exactly. The importance of the environment that we build is a it's everything, but it's connected to what Chimo was saying. Okay, this is the process. Is the it's the two things are 100% connected, and the environment where that we have built here, that is incredible because we can talk about this. We can, learn and get better and improve. And most important, what I found amazing is I saw so many people coming and watching, and then start talking, talking, and then building. That is beautiful. Okay, that process, I don't know how much it's worth, but it's changing life. And that is hopefully some of you recognize this, or are in the journey of doing this. But the moment that you start doing that journey, you come at the end that you are another person. And I'm not saying this because I was already there. No, because it's the journey that I'm doing together with you, and I'm changing, getting better every single day. And and because of this is the community is growing because it's not just me, it's the community. Uh, Thank you, Estella, for this. Dieter.
Because it's the foundation of sovereignty. What is sovereignty is respect each other, and we cannot even, society is brutal. They judge, they label people. They start in kindergarten. By the time they arrive to elementary school or middle school, kids are stressed out. They go to school is like going to a war zone. So why can't we create a new way of doing things that we can become a model where it's about the evolution of the self, is unravel. You came here, you born to do something. Being here alive, it's very important. And I don't think nobody did that question. It's like, why am I here? Being alive is the moment you have, is the given abundance to go and do something, because the action could be anything, but doing it from the heart with a vision of, even if it's a cup of tea, that energy is something. And we know that, but the matrix doesn't tell you that. They want your energy be used, but you're not conscious. You work for 12 hours like a robot. So,
Stella, your question, why am I here, is a really good question. So if anybody wants to answer in the chat, or raise their hand and discuss it, but it's a good question. It's a way of sharing to the community the reason why you're here, and maybe we are here for different reasons, or maybe for the same reasons. So it's a nice contribution if you want to share why you're here, so people can see each other and understand each other better. Dieter, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a good point. The question why I'm here. Perhaps I take some seconds for that question. I'm working as a therapist, and we have a community, and we are asking ourselves some very similar question. We are seeing the world around us as nearly the same way as Stella is presenting, or has presented this world, and getting out of this and doing it for, in our view, the most important thing, our health. That's the center of everything we are doing. And I came into this group with the vision that I can enhance my knowledge for doing this better. And now the door is opening into something that I haven't expected, and I'm listening. And before I even understand what's really behind this, hearing this vision for the first time from you, Manolo, not having swallowed it completely, you are already going to the next level, and yeah, that's quite a lot for me in the beginning. So my questions are more profane, are more simple. So my question to you, Manolo, would be, why is it necessary to have the next level? What is it that we can't do with what we have over here? Why would it be necessary to have a DAO above the DAO instead of the DAO within this community? And if we discover that it is too big, if that is the point, that there need to be more subgroups and so on, or is it the point that it's too many things, too many subgroups, or it's too heterogeneous, or perhaps you can explain that aspect. I haven't understood why you think you need a DAO above the DAO.
Yes, thank you. There are different reasons. I'm gonna start to explain. Hopefully, I don't get lost because there is different sides of it. One is a social aspect, and the other is a financial aspect. Okay, just to simplify it from two different.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, go. Um, so the social aspect is within diversity, we still love grouping each other. Okay, it's we want to be as much as inclusive as possible, but then you find out that the people actually wants to stay in a familiar environment, and so the community will be formed by default. As soon as you start putting people that are different, they will group themselves. You see, if you live in a multicultural city, you see those is happening. And within even communities, you see groups developing. And it's us as a human that we are looking for different level of safety. And a community can give you that safety. And each one of us needs to find the right sides of their community. Okay, a level of safety that they are willing to accept, explore, and feel comfortable about and interact with. A larger community, it's by default, is not a safe environment. The amount of diversity is challenging. The amount of idea and voices is challenging. So there is a human requirement for developing into a smaller group. Then you can be part of a several community. It's not like you lock yourself into something or you sign a contract, you never can move anymore. But nevertheless, building community is a normal process for us as a human, and it's a healthy thing, and it's needed because maybe I don't know you want to talk about I don't know something, and someone else instead is interested in something else. So you will create two different communities. And one experiment that you can do, and maybe we can discuss in another moment, if you have a community, your community, not now because you are early, so first explore, understand, and feel safe. Your community could be within this community. Okay, and then expand and create, exchanges with other community. And that is, for me, is already an interesting process. Now, this is the human, the social aspect. The financial aspect is sustainability. A lot of communities, because of this reason, are too small to stay sustainable, and they can only be sustainable if they grow. But if by growing they destroy their identity, they need to change into something profitable. That is a massive problem. Most of the community have this problem. Most of the community are not sustainable, or because of the niche that they cover, or the size that they should be at, or the environment where they are doesn't bring enough financial support to actually stay sustainable. Now, if we have one financial system that covers the entire network of community, then we can all be sustainable. And that is the difference. So that's why there is this two. I'm simplifying, but hopefully makes sense at this stage to understand the two aspects.
Yes, thank you, got it, and it makes sense what you're saying. It definitely makes sense. It's especially the aspect that feeling safe is depending on the level of interaction between people, and once it gets above a certain threshold, it's getting anonymous, and then the feeling changes, and the security, the safety aspect fades away. I totally agree to you. And so having a framework that's sitting above and giving this kind of is probably very complicated or heavy, but it would make a lot of sense if that really works out. It makes a lot of sense, yes. And thanks for that effort. I mean, this is.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Dieter, can you move closer to the microphone? It's
sorry.
very difficult to hear you.
Sorry, yeah. It's better like this.
Didn't change anything crazy enough. Everybody was expecting, yeah, it's gonna get louder, but it didn't get louder.
I haven't installed a separate microphone. I just opened my notebook, so I have to change that. Or I
Probably
have
is
to
in
speak
the,
louder.
yeah, it's also in the setting of Zoom. You can change the level of the microphone within Zoom. But don't worry for now. We are gonna adjust manually our level of the speakers. But maybe
Sorry
next time,
for
yeah, have a look at it.
sorry for being bad prepared on this.
No worries. You see, the peer learning is happening in real time here. Uh, Anybody else have another question? I think Cosmonautic, your hand was up and then it's gone.
Yeah, I forgot now, but I wrote down. Don't let your learning become knowledge. You become a fool. Let your learning lead to action, and you become wealthy. That was the thing I wanted to say before, so I wrote it instead.
Thank you. All right. So I think we gave a kind of a nice introduction, understanding about what we are building. There are a few things that we should discuss. I think Chimo, if I'm not wrong, Chimo, you prepared a few sort of, I don't know if question or points to discuss.
Can I add something very important?
Of course.
So, society, media, even academics tell you something is true, or they talk with a tone, even the tone written in the paper or by voice, like A plus B is C. And everybody automatically take it like, okay, A plus B is C. What I notice in this environment, we look at if A plus B is C. Is that real? And we look at it in a different way, especially with AI. And everybody knows that. I'm a newbie in terms of AI. But this aspect of being able to analyze a statement and see if is this true, is it real, is this good, that reflection is the reflection that keeps you free. And nobody fools you. Nobody manipulates you. We know what happened in the past. A lot of people were hurt. It was a lie, a manipulation. So I am Argentine. I grew up with that kind of manipulation. And I never got involved in any movement because people were killed. You didn't know who was the enemy. So I learned to be in the do it right, walk the truth, don't judge, be the better of yourself, and know where you are. And when we interact, the trust is built by experience, and you build it solid because when you know people by even the way they talk and everything, you feel them, and you know that people are authentic, and you can grasp like that when a guy is not, a rotten apple. But what I learned, when there is so many good apples, the rotten apple goes away quick. So we don't even need to do anything about it because the high frequency of the space is what stays. So the other question, one will say, why am I here? What I want to do with my life? Because at the end of the life, we came naked and we live naked. So the only thing we'll really we see it every day, is what we do with our, self. So the vision is for ourselves first: self-love, self-respect, integrity, honesty. Don't lie to yourself and be the best you could be, because that's when you feel smiling, because you're content and happy with yourself, and you share that because you're having a good day. So these are the tough questions I'm sharing with you, because this is when you look at yourself in the mirror. And who cares if you're a super engineer? Sorry about this, but I'm going to say it. Have 1,000 millions in the bank, because at the end of the day of this body, you go naked. So you have now the playground to do all the changes you need to do to yourself to really become the shiny person you are, and you haven't allowed yourself to be yourself because the whole context has been limiting you. And this is the space where we can unravel and become the best version of ourselves, because this is the playground. And if we take it with this sense of concept, we can evolve, everybody, and share what we discover. And that's, I'm sorry, but I want to say this because this is the core of everything.
Tom, do you want to talk?
Sure. Quick audio check. You guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Stella. I appreciate that. And Manolo, thank you for going back again.
Tom, we are losing you.
I said yes, and then it's no.
Tom, sorry. Yeah, we are losing you,
Okay,
unfortunately.
how is that?
It's I think,
Okay,
are
can
you
you hear me
moving with
okay?
your car? Yeah, now it's fine.
I am. It's okay now?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for going through that again. And I got involved back in February, and really kind of came out of retirement after a few hard years, personal life. And then I saw what was developing in the technology space. I kind of kept my fingers on it, saw that, OpenClaw dropped in early February. I immediately installed it and realized, wow, this is an amazing technology. And, really since I started programming again back in February, my overriding goal was to help, kind of democratize this technology. And regardless of what happens, that's really what I'm going for, is to get this technology into the hands of my family and friends in a safe manner so that it's not extractive, right? And that's why I'm in line with you guys, because I think that's really what everybody's trying to do here, is provide these advanced technology tools to our family and friends and to the community and to the rest of the world. I mean, frankly, I know that sounds ambitious, but that's really what I'm going for, is trying to get these tools into the hands of my family and friends building a new economic system, the DAO. I mean, it's amazing to me. I'm flabbergasted when I look at the architecture of what you built. It wasn't really in my mind before, but I appreciate what we're trying to build there. But regardless of what happens with that, I'm just trying to get this technology out to my family and friends because it's a real differentiator, right? And in history, you see things like this where a piece of technology comes along and it can change the balance of a lot of things on a personal, and on a macro, a minor level. So I just want to make sure that this technology gets out to my family and friends. That's really why I'm here.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for sharing. And if anyone else wants to share about the why we are here, then it's good. I don't know, maybe I'm getting lost. And Chimo wanted to talk, and then
No, 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 no. I don't want to talk. I think it's interesting at this point, the way we're flowing, if people talk about that. Yeah. Does anybody
Okay.
want to share why they're here?
Luis. We lost you. I don't know what's happening. Luis or Luis.
Hello,
Yeah, go
can,
ahead.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes.
Hi, how are you guys? And thanks for letting me speak here. Every time I have the time, because I'm really busy now, is always amaze me the different visions that people in this community have. I become an engineering because I became passionate about it. Like engineering is about bringing a better uh, quality of life to humanity using the technology, right? So AI is just another technology, and it can be really useful. We all try to take advantage of that in our life. The other day, I don't know if you remember, I think it was a Friday. Some of the guys were talking about like a AI companion, like he put the AI just to let it run and do whatever the AI wants. And there was another guy that was telling us that AI is just a channel from another entity out of space that is communicating with us. So in that way, for everybody, AI is something different, and I think it's good because it's kind of like a mirror. And you guys have said this before, because everybody is looking for something. Because AI gives you that safe space. You're talking to some that you know is not going to judge you. You kind of like speak all your truth, and, and sometimes you get back something interesting because they have applied also this psychological way to engage with the consumer, that is us, to make us more addicted to use the AI, the technology. And that's all good, but it's also true that we can have some really good use, because all the knowledge, not not real knowledge, all the data they have collected, now you can is kind of like a great encyclopedia that never existed before, because you can now you know try to learn anything that before was difficult to just grab that information. Now you have a lot of information. But I think what we should also try to improve ourselves is always trying to get better in that critical thinking, because with all the information, sometimes it's just not like you say, Manolo, like TikTok and all that stuff. You can get hooked really quick and you're wasting your time. But for some people, it's just they just want an entertainment. That's valid too. But I think with with the community and all this good talk, we should find a way to preserve these ideas. And we already have the AI, so we can build like a community, but with knowledge and visions. Because it's like when you go to a party and at the end of the party you solve all the world's problem and you have really good ideas, but that disappear after everybody goes home. So you are transcribing all these meeting, and that's the first step. But I think we should do a little bit more. Like I really like that some people are trying to teach how they do the workflow with the AI, and maybe we can do also some what vision we can put in this DAO that we are trying to build, but we are not there yet. But at least we should put, like all these good ideas, like Stella was kind of like saying, her vision of how we should behave as human and friends and life entity, not only to our other human, but also I think to the life in this planet, right? Um, so that's why I'm here. Sometimes it's contradiction too, because uh, I want AI to give me more quality time, but it's still positive now. But that's my goal, my end goal.
Thank you for sharing. And now that you say this, probably there is an opportunity to create a dedicated event about, talking about humanity in somehow. Even though today's event it is a little bit connected to that, but maybe an event where I'm not. Because this today's event is something that, in a way or another, I'm leading. Okay, but maybe it should be something else, a different kind of event. That it's dedicated to this human interaction. The thing that you were saying about the question that Estella brings up and so on. So something that is more about our humanity and discussing the aspect, because I understand that some people are really in touch with that side. They are talking about the elements every day, and some other people they just keep it there, but they touch it every now and then. And maybe it would be beneficial instead to have a constant kind of moment of meeting and discussing. And now that I think about it, we have our psychologist here somewhere, if he's not gone, that could participate in somehow. Anyway, Melissa, go ahead.
Yeah, no, sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I love all the points that everybody brought up. And I'm here because, yes, I believe in sovereignty. And when I think about sovereignty, I naturally think about boundaries and to rule over, reign, because that's part of the root, word to reign over. And what do we reign over? We reign over ourselves and the boundary of we own our bodies when we come in, like Estella was saying. So we want to have the right to, govern ourselves. Terminology in your terminology.
Sorry, Melissa,
And
we lost
we don't.
We lost you for a second. You said that we want the right to govern ourselves or something like this, and then we lost you.
Yeah, we have the right, we have the right to govern ourselves. And the DAO, I'm just trying to bring forward the importance of the DAO to be brought in with this, is it gives us that boundary, where we say, okay, within this boundary, this is how we operate. This is what we value. And the people here that they're bringing the value by being themselves and being human, and their projects, their contributions, and all these different things we talked about today. And the more people that value that person's contribution, the more the value of the community goes up, and it's a snowball effect at some point when successful. And the reason why I'm here is because I believe the more people that build with this in mind, and human rights and sovereignty and access to all of these free tools and free intelligence, because the intelligence that we're renting is dictated to us. They get to pick which books we put into the models. They get to pick which scientific papers they think are correct, based off of this or that. So outside of that rental system, we now get to build our own intelligence and choose. We have the right to choose on our own machines using our own AI that we've built and designed to analyze whichever scientific paper we decide is relevant for our project, rather than waiting for an expert to come and tell us what the truth is. I'm just here, and part of the reason I say that is because part of the reason why I'm here is because I want to know truth. I don't want truth filtered for me. I want to discover it on my own. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, this is the community where those things happen. I mean, it is based on working for our sovereignty and free ourselves from some constraints of this society. But yeah, anyone else want to share? Uh, I don't know. I would have liked to see in this call also some more practical solution to some of the needs of the community. So if you think like you need something specific for the community, that is a good moment to talk. And Joseph, I think yeah, Joseph, go ahead.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I would like to hear more about the structure and these bullet points that I think is it Zemo had.
Chimo, yes. Uh,
We
The idea, I mean, it's 5 minutes to the hour. So, but this is a good start because the idea is to see how do we define the aspects that we can define within the manifesto, within the DAO. What is the social contract when we need for certain rules and behaviors? Where does that go? And that's also really interesting to listen to Manolo talk about how that is something at a certain point it becomes your community within the DAO. That's where you do have that space for those. But what we wanted to discuss, which we can do in another meeting, is following those objectives or some of those objectives to start to define what we need. What do we want to regulate some of the behaviors? Do we want to explain to people that join that there are certain aspects that we want to see embodied? That's important to have a clear discussion so we can as efficiently as possible we can start to explain. And Carrie asked us to start to have this discussion so we see what is it that we want to implement. Do we want to have a regular meeting in which we talk about this, about, imagine if we had here also people that are fluent with the philosophy, the law, the civil law, the nature, Roman law, to start to see how, yeah, so when you build your DAO or where you belong to a DAO within the DAO, that's where you start to look at that. But yeah, we got 3 minutes. It might be a bit of a rush to go through all that now.
probably lean towards polls and voting, isn't it, to get a feel of the overall opinion because obviously I would agree that structure and structure is definitely a must, and having a solid foundation of what is what this community stands for, then at least someone can measure themselves against that and see if that's for them. Is this a community for me?
Well, in theory, if we do things properly, there will always be a community for you
Right,
within
eventually, but I mean,
within the big DAO. Right now, we should allow for you to feel like there is going to be a community for you. If you want certain restrictions and certain aspects to be regulated, we should be able to give you the belief that that will happen. At the moment, we want to see how do we discuss the non-negotiable? How do we discuss, how um, accountability,
I
behavior?
suppose if no one wants to be fully responsible for that, then it would have to go to voting. I would at least then there's no
But
one.
even to create our voting system, we should start to discuss what happens there. I for one, I'm happy to delegate everything except what I want to do. I don't want to be deciding everything. I don't want to be a part of everything. And I hope as we grow and more people are active, more people behave like that as well. I want to listen and ramble and think out loud, but then I know I don't want to be qualified to decide on everything that goes from the economic aspects to the law to the ethics, the morals. You know, we will need, this is really big. We will need in some way to operate in a way that you transfer some of the aspects of those decisions, and then you're told, and then you maybe you do vote there. I don't know, but I don't want to be involved in every decision. That's crazy for me.
What what roles are actually available that need fulfilling?
Everything. We're patching everything. Like, I mean, imagine if I'm community leader, we need every every role here to people to take over every responsibility. Everything you see wrong needs
I think
people.
maybe if we have a spreadsheet or something where people could put themselves down or to say maybe I can fulfill that role,
Yeah.
and then have a filter where you can maybe meet some people and
Yeah. Would you help me
discuss their
start that?
capabilities.
Yeah, help me start that spreadsheet or whatever it is. Let's do it.
Okay, no worries. Yeah.
Estela?
In Brazil in 2010, and a company used the concept of transparency. So every employee from the bottom to up, everybody knew how much money everyone was doing, and they gave like everybody will get the benefits of the company, like your company shares, and everybody accept, that there were different levels, but everybody had to be responsible of their own self. If they want to take a vacation, they have to plan it, ask the question. Everything will start with the responsibility, because everybody will know if he put more days, that wasn't right. It's like when you're conscious, if you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. So what I'm trying to say, putting rules and regulations, it's almost creating a cult, okay? Like you're controlled by all these things. When I say this, like when you're honest with yourself, you're honest with others. So I think exercising that principle and because if we read the communications, there is transparency, you're up to date, and maybe there is a channel if someone has a wonder, a question, or a statement like, hey, I'm a little bit, not feeling good about this subject or that, and it can be discussed by the round table. The round table doesn't need to have always the same people, but there is a resonance that invite to people to talk about that subject. So this is a different approach. It's not the matrix. It's about resonance and being awake and taking an action, and when you feel you want to be part of. That's sovereignty. We can't play, I am sovereign, if you're not living like a sovereign person. That's why today I'm tough. Because everything it comes from, oh, I'm sovereign. And maybe I control my husband, I control my daughter, and I'm not really truly sovereign. I'm controlling. Because we don't realize we've been living so much in this environment. Everything is about judgment, control, I'm better than you, competition, all these emotions and actions that really poison us. So finding a simple way, starting to be, authentic, and one day I'm good and one day, sorry, I talked to you very bad. But, you clarify it. That's the way how we make changes. On the field, not theoretical. Action. And then from the action, we find in new ways that, oh, this is working good. Let's implement this. But get into this field, that's what makes the difference. Because I don't think there is no one person in this planet is perfect. They're no saviors from outside. We are the ones who dig to get out of the hole. And that's healing. Because any unfulfilled vision, dreams, passions, or if you have to shut your mouth and you couldn't express yourself, you get sick at the end of the week or months of years. Because sickness is a consequence of unsolved traumas. So having the moment to do something about what you limit yourself for years and discover who you really are and bring something nice to the table to share with others, that's what is the whole abundance.
But Estela, what you're describing is a very complicated set of ways of understanding that is not transmitted through words, is action. You can only model certain behaviors and isolate yourself from what you want. You have to just be, when it goes that deep, what you can only be. You can't force people to behave or to understand.
That's exactly what I'm saying. We cannot force anybody. We can do the best of ourselves to find a way where we evolve with the vision of evolution of new AI tools. They're healthy, they're true, they're safe for young kids, and we bring all these new, but the human aspect is at a different level because we are creating something is transparent. It comes from the heart of the people that want to like Tom talk and want to from my family. That's love, guys. What drives you is love to bring something better to your home. Well, at the end of the day, you go to sleep in a peaceful way. I'm happy with what I did today. I advance a little bit more. And that little way of doing is better than talking. And I'm number one, okay? On that one.
I got Manolo waiting, and I think he's cutting the
I'm
hour.
sorry, but that's what I only wanted to say. It is a simple way to do it.
Thank you, Estela. This is, I mean, what just happened is just exactly this idea of community of communities. So think about in these terms. We have this top layer. Okay, there is one rule: no capturing other communities somehow, other world. This idea of world building is allowed and free. Now, the moment in that reality you start saying, this is the rules we should follow, you are building a community. Okay, you're creating a sub community where those rules will be applied. Now, I don't know exactly what Joseph had in mind. Okay, so Joseph, I'm gonna use as an example, but not as a what you want to build. But you had a vision of how this structure system should work. Okay, that vision, it's a vision of a community. Okay, it's not the vision of the top DAO because the DAO doesn't have this. Okay, the DAO should work in the way that you think and in the way that Estella thinks. Okay, which is somehow Estella is following uh, a self-sovereign respect and for others, and therefore it's gonna self-regulate, a sort of a self-regulation system. And for clarity, Stella, the DAO only works through transparency. So the top layer is always going to be transparent. Everybody should see everything and anything. Okay, so there's nothing hidden because it's the only way to create trust. So top layer, total transparency to achieve maximum trust. But what Estella is saying is suggesting a way of working, a way of thinking, a way of behaving. Now, this is could be potentially a community. The moment that Estella say, "I want to start this movement," and people start joining, then there is a community. Okay, and Joseph, in somehow could be the same thing from your perspective. Okay, I want this set of rules and so on, and therefore you start developing a community. Then doesn't mean that some people cannot be part of a Stella community and your community. They can be part of both. Now, the difficult part is to create the traction to create the community. So you have an idea now. Okay, Stella has her idea, you have yours. Can those ideas attract people enough to build a community? Okay, that is how the DAO works. Now can be already formed community that join. Okay, there are people, some of us that are already part of different community. They can bring the community inside, and then become part of the DAO and the infrastructure and part of the economy and so on. But then there can be people like each one of you that say, I want to build this in this way. I want to create these sides of a community. And with for whatever reason, okay, for safety, for a topic, for behavior, whatever it is, you can create it and then structure and work with the support of the DAO, with the financial support that come from be part of the entire system. So still, you have this, you build this world, okay? And Joseph, let's say, has a different world, and then you say it's not compatible with yours. But again, this is the world building of and agency and how do you call it, sovereignty for Joseph to build the world that he thinks is right. Okay, so I
But
understand what you mean, because I'm building in the more closer to what
yeah,
you're saying, but at the same time, it's doesn't mean because you think in a way that Joseph needs to change. Okay, Joseph has
no,
its
no, no,
own
I
path
understand.
and
It's
its own reason why.
universal law of existence. If we don't maintain that universal law of respect, right? Transparency, that's the core. Everything burns because if we don't have that universal law that it doesn't matter whatever project you're doing and how you're doing it, if you're doing it with transparency and integrity, nobody's gonna steal your idea. You, I mean,
Uh,
and
Still, what
this
you
is
call universal law, okay, is a human law. It's not universal. We created, we give this major name as universal. Everybody should follow. But in reality, it's a human law. It's we created as a human. It doesn't exist. It's not physics. Okay, it's a human law. So it's true as long as you behave, you believe in it. So there's
yeah.
people that want decide to believe and people that decide not to believe. Anyway, those are world that you build where there is the universal law and there are world where that universal law doesn't exist. Those are world building. So it's all about build your world and see if people wants to stay within it. That is your community. And I'm really sorry. My dog is asking me to go out, so I'm going out. So if you're back when I'm back, I'll see you then. Otherwise, thanks a lot, and see you soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And really quickly, I'm going to take this moment. Dave, yeah, we didn't talk, but I just sorry for last Sunday, the co-op meeting. It was a crazy day. And I just spoke with Dustin that that meeting is going to go on and we'll make sure that it works, even if it's
Yes.
small for a few weeks.
Yeah, I understand with with the World Cup going on, everybody had stuff going on, and so I wasn't really surprised after the first call that nobody had showed up to see there was nobody on the second one. Um, but
I'm
yeah,
Spanish and I'm Spanish and I didn't make the connection. I didn't realize what was going on until I was told, oh, that's the reason, because I was flying, so I was
yeah.
clueless. Yeah.
I didn't know about that meeting, guys. I'm sorry. It wasn't on my radar. And it's still, I don't even know what the time is. So if you guys can fill me in, I'm not sure when that meeting got
It's 4 p.m. on our
set
time
up
on
and
Sunday.
what you, okay,
I
just
don't
Sunday
know.
afternoon.
I don't know that Tom heard you. Repeat that, Dave.
No, I
It's
heard it.
4 p.m. on New York time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to make it.
Yeah. And Dave,
Cool.
do you want to tell people what you're asking people to come and do a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. So Sunday is our co-op engine. If you have a project that you need help on, or if you're looking for a project to join, or if you're looking for, even paid work, this is where you can come and share a project that you make a 90-second pitch, you share your project, and then we go into breakout rooms and you can give more detail about, what the project is, what the help you need is, if there's compensation, what that compensation will be, um, that sort of thing. It's we're trying to fit people to projects. So, um, you know, like I said the other day, Gmo, you're always looking for community leaders to help. If you could put together a 90-second pitch to say, these are the roles that I need help with. I bet you'd have people join your breakout room for that.
Yeah.
Or Tom, if you've got, a handful of issues that you could just describe to people, I bet you could get, some help with the Resonant OS software. Um, we're like Vlad and Victor. I know their Arcanum project is getting bigger and bigger all the time. It's an awesome project, and I think they're looking for help as well. So, if they've got something specific for their project that they would like to pull in help on, or if you've got um, like a microcontroller project, an AI project, it doesn't even have to be AI. It can be anything at all, really, that you're looking for help with. Um, if you can make a 90-second pitch to describe it to people, and then um, you know, talk to people for, 20, 25 minutes in a breakout room about what your project is. That's all it takes. So hopefully we'll see you guys at the Sunday calls, and we'll start, getting people put together with projects.
Yeah. I got one. Right now I'm coaching a bunch of women in Uganda online, and they're young, educated women, but the access to technology, even to electricity, sometimes it fails. So if I start talking about about what we do, is so what I want is to be able to choose what platform I use for the introduction to AI. In my world, it will be Gemini and Codex, but I need your help as in a group. So I would say, what do we do while we train them towards, what we are bringing? How do we start to get them fluent in, whether it's prompting or creating agents? That's why I chose Gemini, because in the platforms that are for free is from what I understand, the best one. So that's what I'm going to propose for Sunday. We all call, this is my project. We go into breakout rooms and you join a breakout room. You can do it for the whole time or for a while as you bounce up and down. It's a really cool meeting. It's got great energy. Yeah.
What's your goal for teaching this?
My goal is to give them a realistic landing into the best use of AI currently. So tell them what I would like is to coach them in a way that they are ready to be disappointed next month when Gemini is the one that, goes off or whatever it is. So what I give them is a set of skills that are transferable from one AI to the next one. They just understand not only, I don't want to teach them and show them how to use this tool. I want them to also transfer everything I'm learning here in a practical way so they are ready to then start.
Is it, in a sense, a sort of vibe coding?
Yeah, that will come later, much later. Yeah, but that's the kind of thing I would like them to be prepared for. You know what I mean? What I want is I don't want them to fall into, start paying a lot of money to Gemini that they don't have or they might struggle to pay. I want to be able to, with the free platform available right now, start to say, okay, this is how you create your own agent. This is knowledge. This is what you do. This is how you think. So
Yeah, AI orientation.
AI
I like it.
orientation. I have a title. I didn't have it. Thank you. Cool. Oh, Manolo is back. Stella, are you waiting to talk?
No, I wrote something. Someone asked me because I wrote, maybe we need to put principles, principles that to comprehend, that's important to when we co-create and work with other people in projects. This is what guides our co-creation. Like I wrote truth, transparency, respect, efficient communication, no aligning with ideas. When there are no alignment of good ideas, and say two people are starting to no agree or they have different versions and they need a solution, maybe the issue can be, solve it with other people that want to collaborate in the communication to say, hey, well, how we solve this? So, if there is a friction, instead to judge, we try, sometimes a friend or another person can clarify the way how two people are communicating, and we can clarify and find a better solution. But it's based on an efficient communication and try to find what is not working, and because these are principles of it's a way how you go into the space to co-create with others. And if we don't have those principles, how you behave, and by saying these are the principles how we function, and then any project can be solved maintaining peace, order, efficient communication, problem solving, and that's what we use as a basic building blocks to bring the best of each other,
Melissa?
I would just say, yeah, we have to be careful with adding any kind of rules. I know that's hard for some people, but I agree with Manolo that the less kind of dictating is done at the macro level, the more independence the groups below it will have to come up with their own guidelines, their own principles, their own sense, whatever they decide to govern. You know, if you want to hold a meeting and you want to say everybody gets 30 seconds to talk, you can run a meeting like that. Now, is there, you know, and then if people show up and want to participate, it's a voluntary participation system. If you don't want to be there, you don't like the rules, you go somewhere else. And then if you can't find one that you, if you can't find one you don't like, then you start your own little country within the country, or whatever, you know, community within the community, whatever you want to, however you want to frame it.
Right, that's the next level when I'm talking about the principles. It's like you go into a meeting and agree it's going to be 30 minutes, like you said, presentation of 15, but it's an agreement between all the people. My point is, like, if you at least you're saying, hey, we want to, you know, pure, no manipulation. I mean, the best thing is bring the best of you. If that's the principle, but I wasn't going into such a detail. That's his co-creation. But I bring myself into a level which is neutral to do the best.
But the more rules you have, the more manipulated the rule can be. So not everybody's going to come in with the same intention that you do. Someone else is going to come in and say, I don't know, Melissa's not following the rules, so let's all vote her out, or whatever. You know, like, there's all sorts of crazy things that can happen down the road if too many rules are put into the core.
Principles are not rules. They're virtues. It's
yeah,
like,
I mean, if you,
it's not that, you know, impulse in a person. It's something that you bring into balance. You want to be balanced, but you know, every day you're not going to be in the balance. So, but it's a principle. Try to do the best of you, because your actions impact in others. There are no rules. It's like saying considerate. That's the word.
Yeah, guidelines.
Yeah.
They are. The principles are the guidelines that you personally need, that come out of your values. So the way values become real are the principles.
Yeah.
And
so yeah, and I cannot impose to someone else and say, hey, you're not being truthful. You know, that's why it's different. The rules is how we play a game, and we set the rules. Hey, whoever touched the ball with their hand is out of the game. And it's a rule imposed on the people that are say, hey, we're going to play. Okay.
The only place that I agree with this kind of context is in the business side of the DAO. If it comes down to like business decisions on the DAO side, however Manolo decides to relinquish that, or when it gets relinquished, or I could see how there are certain guidelines that you have to follow if you're in a business meeting and making decisions on the business side of the DAO. But on the community side, I don't know how restrictive you want to get, because obviously you have to get certain levels of restriction, otherwise you're going to have black market, you know, pornography. You know, it's like, okay, because you got to think about all the things that people will do, because if you can think of it, they'll do it. They'll do it.
Yeah. But imagine if someone tells you, here it's important to be transparent. And the moment, and you let it go, you know, transparency, that's it, we know. But if someone is now reading, hey, I need to be transparent, and you caught in now being transparent, doing things or talking.
But then now we have to define what is transparency. Okay, so if you're speaking in a generality, general term, somebody could say,
you know, having agendas. My point is, like, you come to do what is good for the community. Your agenda is not coming to harm the community. Or
there's no way for me to know your intention. How do I know?
No, I know, because that's what I'm saying. It's a principle of myself. I take responsibility how I come and participate with transparency. That means I'm bringing the best of me for the vision, period.
Mhm.
That's how I see it.
My truth and my fundamental belief, and something fundamental for me that is the only way to be happy and enjoy my life, is just that. It's not shareable. Like I can't ask for people to believe. I want to have here people that even disagree with fundamental aspects of my freedom. They have to respect that that's my choice, but they can have a different opinion. I don't care. I want to be in a diverse place where people can disagree. You know, I'm I'll give you a specific example. I'm a gay man. I want people to be here that are against gay marriage. I'm okay with that. That's your opinion. You're wrong. I don't want people to agree with everything, to respect everything. You can fuck off if you're wrong. That's okay. I don't need you to follow everything, to respect everything. I only need you to have the boundaries to know you don't need to rub that in my face. I don't want to hear that, but you're allowed to, in your group, to have your opinions and believe whatever you believe in. I think the bigger DAO has to accept that we don't all have to agree, because otherwise, what's the point in agreeing?
Yeah. The less rules, the better it's going to be, in my opinion. And you have to be very careful about writing things down, because as soon as you write a rule down, somebody figures out how to break it. And then you have to write a rule for that rule. And then next thing you know, you're in a bureaucracy.
Well, I think the way you frame it matters. Rules versus operating principles, right?
Mhm.
If I'm functioning in a way that's guided by my personal principles, and this is how I operate, I'm going to gravitate towards people in the same mindset. And
Yeah, and that's going to be your
if
community.
people,
That's your community. Those are your people. And if you are governing that community, and if somebody is acting outside of what you see as principled behavior, then it's your space, your house, let's say. Just like if somebody's acting out in your house, you have the right to kick them out, or you can even call the cops on them, get them kicked out of there. Right? But you can't go over to somebody else's party and tell everybody that they can't cuss, or, you know what I mean? They can't come over to my community and be like, Melissa, we don't like that you said the F word, and so therefore we're taking your rights to own the community away, or whatever. You don't want to write in ways for people to be able to take what you built, because the idea is you've got free land. Manelo's giving everybody free land and saying, come build on my free land, build whatever you want, build the most beautiful community that you want. But that's you're taking on that responsibility of building and managing that community or that space.
Yeah, and it's a lot like coaching, right? The wrestling room where I have a bunch of kids. Set the tone, set the standards, you set the principles, and then you operate in a way that's an example. And if you operate in a manner that's an example, and you don't allow things that are going to distort that room, and you have to protect that environment, that space.
Yeah, and if you're an asshole, people can leave. It's up to them. If they don't like how you talk or whatever, then they can leave and they can go and start their own
Tom,
community.
you express it beautifully. That's exactly what I want to say. But
That's a good law. We could put it like number one. If you're an asshole, write it down.
Well,
I mean, but my point is, people have the right to be an asshole. Like some people, like that's my interpretation, is like that person's being an asshole, but somebody else might look at him and be like, I think it's fine. He's just talking. He just talks brash. And sometimes I talk brash and people misinterpret me. So
and everybody
I'm just
has
a huge
day, right? You have a bad day.
I'm just a huge free speech advocate. I'm like a free speech, almost like absolutist for the most part. I think, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. I mean, like, so.
I always say you always can express the same thing in a different way. So if someone goes emotionally negative, say, okay, hold on, can you restart and be a little more neutral and express yourself what you don't like or what you bother or
Yeah.
and
And it's about your intent, right?
yeah,
We're all here for friends. Here's a bad day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm saying things that you regret. So it's a learning process.
Yeah, and intent requires a discernment. And so that's why it's the community has the choice to come in and join your community, the bigger community, people from that community who have the choice to come and have that discernment and try to discern your intention of the group and call it, maybe you're lying, maybe you're a great con artist, who knows, but we can't be the big DAO can't be responsible for weeding out every single little thing and all, it needs to, in my opinion, stay as open and free as possible. That's just my opinion. I'm just stating my opinion, and obviously I have a very strong opinion, but
Yeah, thank you,
that's me.
Melissa. And in reality, if you see the DAO, it's already like this. Okay, we have basically one rule to follow, and which is you're sovereign and you shouldn't capture someone else's sovereignty. So everybody's free to build their own world, their own community. So we are all already like this, but also shows when I say I don't want to be the leader because I don't want to be the leader of any of those sub community. Okay, that is hopefully makes sense now when you start to see that each one of you potentially could start their own community. So that would be your community that you lead. And what I'm trying to do is to work at this harder layer. And so in some wouldn't be healthy for the communities, for the larger community and the smaller community, for me to start leading any community would be probably from my point of view would be no would be not healthy for those other communities. At least this is my idea. I'm happy to hear opposite view about it.
It feels like it's less so than 4 months ago.
Less sorrows, less what? Sorry.
The fact that it's starting to happen less that you are the center of everything. So the transition is flowing. We just need to be patient. I still need a lot of your reflection. That's we can't we can't flash forward like that.
Yeah. But like I always said, I'm always happy to share my thinking. I never stop sharing, so I don't mind. And uh, like I don't know, was Tom was saying about this, lead by example. And this is all I do. I don't tell you people what to do. I just do it, and hopefully people will say I'm gonna do the same. So I believe in the learn by doing, and and show how it's done. That's how I try to operate. But if there are questions, I'm always happy to answer and share my thinking and give feedback if the people want feedback or guidelines or whatever it is. I I
The
don't shy
problem, the
away.
problem is the rule that I work a lot in workshops about leadership, and one of those impossible rules is the best leader is always the reluctant leader. And every movie you want to watch, that's just the fact.
So, what's the procedure for someone who has a project?
Well,
So
you
there
have
is.
Mel. Sorry, Manolo, go on.
It depends of the project you have in mind, but every Friday, so basically every tomorrow is going to happen, same time as of today, people will present their own projects. So you can reserve a slot for you to present your project. And it can be anything, okay? It can be a personal project, it can be a business that you're doing, it can be an idea, it can be anything. in general. But if you have something that you want to do within the community, and so something that is not about presenting, but it's about building, then we can discuss. You can again, Melissa and Chimo are organizing the Friday's event. So if you want to present, maybe talk with Melissa. If you have something, project, an idea, community to start, you can talk with Shimo. And if you need to talk with me, you can talk with me anytime. There is on my website. I'm gonna share inside the chat. I got my website, which is manoloremidi.com/forward booking, and there is a way to book. Didn't work. Why? Oh, no, it works. I share in the chat. There is a way to book a call with me.
And
What do you have in
also,
mind?
if what you're looking for is more of a workshopy discussion into solutions, you've got Gardner Dave here for Sunday Court. We have
Oh
so
yes,
many
yeah.
options.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
I am always happy to help. So if you want to talk, just send it to me and maybe I can help you too.
Yeah, exactly. There are on Discord. You see community leaders. There is all of them are happy to discuss. But if you have something in mind that you want to share, even just because now we are all curious, of course. Now we want to know what this, what you have in your mind. So maybe you can introduce with a couple of words, a whole sentence, what you have in mind, if you want.
Definitely
Um,
jump on Discord. And
yeah, yeah. Well, the idea is that I've worked in healthcare industry and I've worked with um, extreme aged and people with disabilities, and they stay isolated for very long periods of time. So I was thinking of a nanny app in a sense. Obviously, naming it, etc., is not relevant right now, but it's just something that reaches out, checks on them, has a sort of a diary. When's the last time they had a drink, that kind of thing. Um, and then it can branch out to people with dementia. They sometimes have panic attacks and hallucinate. So there can be methods of care around that as well. Easy way to keep in touch with family because obviously with you can have messages back and forth, voice notes, that kind of thing. Yeah, so it's based on that.
Nice. Are you already building this, or you have just this idea at the moment?
I have started just the planning phase, looking at policy and procedure, that kind of thing. Um,
What I think you should do, this is my thinking, okay? And if, especially if you're looking for people to collaborate, help you out on different aspects, is to present this idea of one of our Friday call. So you structure properly the presentation. So you introduce yourself, why you're doing this, what kind of problem you try to solve, and so on, and explain what you're doing, what you're looking for. And I'm totally sure, even from this call, you see, people already, clapping and appreciating this kind of journey. So I'm sure that you could find people that can help you out. It's 100% in resonance with, with this community, what we're building, and how we want to, use AI to augment and solve and support people. So 100% in line with us.
so I found the right place, in other words, and that's good news.
Yeah, yeah, you're on
Yeah,
the, you on the right place. place. So yeah, maybe talk with Melissa and organize, book a slot. She's gonna help you out to give you a kind of guidelines, not rules, guidelines on how to do the presentation and so on. Because what we're doing is we are also recording the presentation and then share on YouTube, not my channel, but there is a DAO dedicated channel where we share those videos. So the community can see and watch and learn even if they were not present at the presentation itself. So you could come tomorrow so you have an idea how more or less those presentation works, and then book a call and book a slot and present your idea. I think will be well appreciated. Dave, go ahead.
I think Estella was before me.
No, she raised her hand and she never turned it
Oh, okay.
down, so she
Okay.
always ready to talk. But yeah,
Gotcha.
you, it's you.
So I've been thinking a lot over the last few days about how in a community-owned project, it's hard to get people to take ownership of part of the project. Um, without um, without clear definitions of what they're doing, it can be scary to jump in and and take on uh, responsibilities. What I was thinking about is an informal stewardship contract that basically you would be putting forward. This is the project that I'm interested in. This is what I think should happen. This is the role that I am willing to play in making that happen. And this is when that role expires, or these are the conditions under which that role expires. Um, and that might take away, some of the ambiguity that makes this so difficult to organize.
Uh, what, from my point of view, when you say something like this, I'll tell you what I think. It's uh, it's a good idea, and you should do it. Since you want to start something, present it to the community because this is not presenting to me. Okay, at the end is a co-own, so it's about presenting to the community, and you present officially to the community. This is what I want to do. This is what my commitment is going to be. This is what I want to achieve. This is for the length or whatever. Okay, and then you show to everybody this is how it's done. Now I told to the community my intent and my journey, my strategy, everything, and people will say I want to do the same. So because I can't in somehow I can support and like I'm doing right now with you to follow this path, but like Melissa said, this cannot be the rule. Okay, this is your way, and all people will follow because it will make sense. But if we make the rule, we create a problem. Okay, at the top level, okay, what I'm talking about. So if we make this the rule of the DAO or the top level DAO, then if people don't resonate with the rule, they will be out. So, but if you do by I show how it's done, then it's the community that is acting, that take the leadership and ownership of behavior that is an example. Okay, and people can say, okay, I'm gonna follow this. This is a nice principle. It's a nice guideline to follow. I'm gonna follow it, but it's not enforced. It's just become the culture of a movement. So I would like to see you doing it and people following it. That would be the ideal scenario. Maybe customize it and change it, whatever if it's needed. Uh, at least this is my view. I don't know if it makes sense for you, Dave.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I actually have more to that, but I tried to post a 3-minute pitch into the group chat, and it was 3 times the character limit. So I'll have to figure out another way to share that.
It could be because those can be even part of one of our community call. Maybe next week at one point, or you can present this and actually doing it. This is you do it and we show, and then you can create even a document, a guideline on how to do the same, and uh, and we and you're the first one to do it, and starting the path for others. Tom.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Dave. That's it's actually very timely that you're bringing that up because we're at the stage now where I've done a significant amount of work on the repo and the documentation and the CI to make this a sustainable project from a development perspective, right? And that's a lot of, behind the scenes work that no one really notices, but you understand what I've done. And so we're at that stage now where we can start pulling in contributors, right? We've got an agent's MD file that clearly instructs the agent how to work on the repo. We've got contributions, but this next step that you're identifying, Vlad brought it up. We're probably at the stage where we can start breaking into engineering interest, and I'm only speaking about the development side because that's my focus. But we can start breaking into development interest and having kind of a profile of what that role/area of interest is, like you're talking about. I think that is really helpful because you're kind of wading into an open water and you don't know what the map is, you don't know what the lay of the seabed is. So I think having a map like that is very helpful and very timely. So thank you for bringing that up. And then secondarily, I wanted to specifically address, I think it was Joseph that was talking about the medical system. I've, out of necessity, had to do quite a bit of smart care device implementations, sensors, motion sensors, cameras, things just because of my parents and other issues that I had to deal with. So I would love to talk to you about that. I've got quite a few ideas and things that I've implemented, and I would love to just bounce things off of you and see if I can help you in any way. So maybe we could connect on Discord. It's Dr. Tom on Discord. I'm not a doctor. It's just that was my robot's name. But you can find me on Discord on pretty much all the development channels. Thank you, Manolo.
Thank you, Tom. Melissa.
Oh, I was just gonna, scoot it over to Tom, and then he ended up because I think that sounds like a smart contract kind of language where it allows people to, let's say, imagining the DAO is up and running, or and that you are working on Resonant OS, and Resonant OS decides they want to fund, $50 for this specific project to get done, and then, gives people the ability to sign up to do that and, reward them for their contributions and track all that kind of stuff. And when he was, I think it's Dave was talking, that's what I was picturing in my little brain.
Thank you, Melissa. You don't have a little brain. Uh, all right. Anybody else want to share or say anything?
Oh, I did want to apologize. I was speaking over people on these channels, and I'm doing it right now again. Somebody's speaking, I'm speaking over them. So sorry. I try to raise my hand, and it's just back and forth. So I'm just really conscious about trying to talk over folks. So sorry if I'm interrupted.
Yeah, the next meeting, all of us from outside of the US are going to be driving while we meet. That's going to be our revenge.
All right. So I guess we can close this call. Ah, no, still has something. Sorry, I didn't see your hand.
I love what this gardener Dave mentioned it really resonate with me. It's something that I think the principle, how he worded the idea, it's kind of like sovereignty. It's like every team, if we start every project, or the people when they gather to do a project, we have a starting point, which is that principle of the, agreement with the stewardship to something. And if I think it's a beautiful way to put it, and I really like it. We start from somewhere, but the people in that room, we put the pieces to create the game, with responsibility. And you will know, if I sign, hey, I'm gonna do 40 exercises, I only reach 10. It's like I'm gonna know I'm not meeting the, what is expected or what I said I'm gonna commit. It's a problem with myself. So then I have to accommodate myself to say, hey guys, I cannot do 50. I'm being able to give 10, but a solid 10 is better than fake 50. So I
100%.
like
And
that, Dave. Thank you.
Dave is an incredible frequency. It's just really a low level, but it's slowly getting louder so we can start hearing and enjoying it. And so thanks a lot, Dave, for turning up the level. Really appreciate. And you see, as soon as it goes higher, people resonate with it. Chris, go ahead.
I wanted to say that I'm glad we had the uh, kind of difficult conversations about making the most out of the community. And I think this shows that we have much greater potential, and I hope we do fulfill that potential. I hope our community can be for anyone and everyone that wants to both pitch in and be a part of it.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, I think was needed to clarify, and uh, and it's probably gonna be needed more often to go back and repeat, and but sometimes also adjust the trajectory and ourselves.
Well, growth is a process. It's not an act.
Uh, b- Sorry, I can't read this too far away. Uh, Bjorn, I can't remember how you pronounce.
Yeah, you pronounced it correctly. Hello, all. I was listening all. I was also resonating very much with me, so I'm really happy about it. I was thinking about one more thing that I always like. I always have that idea from this community is about most people are very. I feel like all have talents in some or other way, you know. So I always think like like the world has needs. You know, people want something. They want products or goods or whatever. And I feel like this community also can, produce, give services or whatever. So I feel like how can how you say it, can the outside world that maybe has needs for certain services also be incorporated within the community, so like that money flows into the community, that's what I was thinking about.
Yes. I mean, sorry, there is some return on your microphone. Yeah, thank you. Uh, so the idea is, we are gonna get there. That's where we want to go, and we are in the process of building everything that is needed to get to uh, place, and it takes time because it needs people to work on it. So if you want to work on that side of the project, then it's gonna go faster. But the direction is going towards that part. So Resonant OS, which is one of the product that is built by the community, it's also gonna go inside the hand of the public. Okay, and that is the door to actually get inside the DAO as well. But it's also a door to enter into the uh, let's say the shop of product and services that the DAO members can present. So it's one single thing that connect the whole stuff, but then doesn't mean that everything needs to happen in that respect. So just to say an example, now Joseph has this idea. That idea doesn't mean that needs to produce money. Okay, sometimes it's not about producing money, but has this idea. Now the community member can get together and build this app and so on. Now the problem of anything costs money to run it. So there is my find fundings for whatever government, association, charity, the community can fund a project like this, or can be a way to actually monetize that as a service and offer that service to, I don't know, whatever healthcare system in different countries. So there is a path is possible. Then we always need to decide ourselves how we want to go there and but and if Bjorn, you want to help out on this trajectory, then yeah, please do, so we can get faster there.
Yeah, I do have some ideas. So I will think at a certain moment I can help out with it also. So I'm happy to do also. Mm. The other thing I was thinking about, like if the DAO has its own currency, then the DAO also becomes like some kind of an escrow service, like banks do, like a guarantee for like if let's say I'm an outsider and I want some services, I want some programming done or some apps or a service, whatever, and I have money there, and then I give it into the DAO, I don't know, that converts it into tokens or how you call it. And then it's also maybe supervised is the project in a certain way because there's the money, and then it will be distributed over people who want to join into it, and then maybe that's also like a guarantee for the client and a guarantee for the who do the work, and also like a check for the quality, like it fulfills certain services that gives credibility to the community and transparency also to the outside world, that I was thinking about.
Yes, and so this is how it could work. Okay, just give you a few ideas so you can picture it. I'm not saying that this is how it's going to work, but it's how it could work. So there are different things that it's possible to do. One is because it's on blockchain, there is a smart contract. Let's say you are a client, you have just to say a number, $1,000 to create this app or this website, whatever it is. So you put these $1,000 inside the smart contract. Now and you create a bounty, basically a request for that kind of service. People from the community can actually bid for the bounty and say they are gonna present different offers, different project. So they make their website. Then you pick, for example, one of them, and then the money goes to the one that won the the bid. So basically, you got different people creating this software, this website for you. You select the one that you like, and that person get paid. This is just an example. Another thing is the involving instead of the service. So a group of people can say, we offer this service. So there is a smart contract between three people. And the client put the money, the producer of the service put the software done. And then there is these people that check if the two things meets correctly. And then guarantee that everybody is happy out of the service. So can be done in a decentralized way in somehow, but needs to be structured properly, but it's possible.
Yeah, that sounds great. I need probably a lot of service in future. I hope so. So I hope it
Nice.
works, and then I can also have benefits from it.
And in reality, even before the future, if you contact with Dave is organizing a group of people that can offer services. So we start organizing a kind of I don't even know how to an agency, okay, that offers services. So maybe you could talk with Dave and start thinking this out. If you have something that needs kind of in a short term.
Thanks. I will contact Dave then and then have a chat about it.
Awesome. All right. I think, I think we can call it nice chat. Thanks, Tom, for sharing those handles. And I think we can go. If you want to carry on chatting, you can move inside Discord. George, go ahead. You're muted if you're talking. I see your hands up, but no sound. You still look muted.
Yeah. I said that I keep silent because I'm reading your material, which I'm discovering almost for the first time. And I'm impressed and inspired. But there's a lot of work here. I mean, your Resonant OS, which is, I'm in the page describing it, is a hell of a project. It's very, very, very interesting. But before I join your conversation, I need to be in tune with what you're talking about. So this is why I keep silent. I've been working a lot in conventional classical AI. I mean, Prolog programming, assembly language even, and many decades actually. And I'm using some free Chinese tools like DeepSeek and ZAI, with caution, of course, because these are not giving you any real sovereignty. But I prefer the Chinese than the Western companies who are imposing restrictions. My problem is, of course, that I don't have my own powerful equipment, and all I have is a 16-core, 64 gigabyte RAM computer with no GPU. So I'm very much behind, and I'm trying to follow what you're doing, and I'll keep listening until I find something really new or interesting to say. This is what I.
Yes. So, first of all, already what you said sounds like, yeah, we are all curious to know more because most of us discover AI lately, okay, with this, with
Yeah.
ChatGPT. So we have no idea what real AI is. So you already have,
Well, neither have I.
yeah, you already have a lot to share.
I built the first simple AI game in Greece in 1984, which was a philosophical game with dialogues. And then I built the first Greek English translator program in 1992. And recently I made a program that mocks political garbage by imitating all the bullshit that politicians say. And but my main work is not this, it's building a theorem prover using a special kind of logic, which I don't know if you heard of him. And
No.
I extended his logic calculus to multiple values. And I'm really helped a lot by the Chinese ZAI and DeepSeek that follow my work and give me ideas and check my. I'm building a theorem prover right now, which I think it will be very fast. And my main idea is that one day LLMs will be joined with classical AI, which is based on logic, and create hybrid models, which are not based only on word prediction, but on combining the techniques of LLMs with a core level where logic is used instead of logic inference, A equals B, B equals C, so A equals C, for example. And anyway, I said a lot. I didn't want to say so much.
No, honestly, I mean, what would be amazing if you want to is to book one slot on one of those Friday call, so you can
Yes.
you can share this. It doesn't need to be finished, It's but
Oh,
really,
yes. I'll love to do that.
yeah,
Yes.
Please.
Please, yeah, I'd love to
That's a
see
good
that.
idea. Thanks.
yeah. So get in
Um,
touch with Melissa. Sorry, Melissa, go
I'm
ahead.
frantically looking for a pen because I need to know what your name on Discord is.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it's
It's
usually
short.
different.
Yeah, it's different. It's no Adamo. Well, it's the anagram of Omadeon, which was my my blog pseudonym. Can I write it somewhere so you can see it? I mean,
Yeah,
Oh, that
yes.
would be
if
fabulous.
Yeah.
if you leave a message on Discord and
Yes.
messaging Melissa on Discord so
Yeah.
she can find you find each other.
Yes. Well, I have the same problem with Melissa. What is she in on Discord?
Mel, I'm Mel DeWeese, I think. I think there might be some numbers on there.
But as soon as
Ah,
you write at Mel, she will come out.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't understand actually what you
So
said.
you write at, okay, on the
Yes.
chat at, then Mel,
Ah,
and you
well,
see Mel the
my
ways.
my name on Discord is Noah Damo.
No,
This is the name. I wrote it in.
in the
Yeah.
chat. This is so difficult.
Anyway,
All right, let me find you. I'm gonna message each
I
other.
am on Discord right now.
I see you.
So,
I'm
ah,
adding you as a friend.
Ah, you find
oh,
it.
thanks.
We're friends
I will
now.
add you. Ah, yes. I'll find you because you have made a request. Yes. Let's see. Pending. Add friend. Yes.
Nice. So now getting
Yeah.
yeah, find a way to organize a call so you can book a session for this presentation. Would be nice
I
to.
intend to publish my two most important dialogues with DeepSeek and ZAI to publish it on Substack blog I started, as well as my old blog, which is in WordPress. The whole dialogue, so people can see what is. I need to hide nothing because it's very special, this kind of thing, and I'm very honored to participate in this way, even in this way. So I'll try to do my best.
All right, looking forward
I
to
don't
it.
have a camera, by the way. I haven't connected a camera to my computer. And I was kicked out of Facebook because I refused to give my face to their obligatory camera. They need you to make a video of yourself in many different angles. And I
Wow.
decided that I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind actually, but I find this is a serious breach of privacy because I don't trust these guys. What are they going to do with all this biometric data they're collecting?
Yeah,
And they're
it's insane.
Palantir.
It's
Yeah, I
insane. I
hate them.
didn't know.
So yeah, so I've been in Facebook since
In which,
2007.
sorry, in
Yeah,
which country are you based?
I'm a Greek and I'm living in Greece, but I lived in London and other places in England for a long time, which
All right.
explains my strange accent. Yeah. I'm in the outskirts of Athens, near the sea. Where I swim in the sea all year long. This is my life, swimming
Nice.
in progress
I'm
and
very
music.
jealous, Mr. George. You're
Oh
swimming
yeah,
in you're
I
swimming in the
understand.
sea in Athens. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, we are privileged here. Yes, I mean it's 7 minutes walk to the seashore. I mean it's fantastic.
Wow.
Anyway. Anyway, I'm glad to meet you all, and I heard very carefully what you were talking about, and I read about Resonant OS. And if I understand you correctly, Manolo, you give me an opportunity to write something about my projects in your in a special space reserved for that. Is that correct? I will search for this. I'm very new to all this. But I would appreciate the opinions of others, because we all live in a community. Nobody's completely alone. I've been alone for a long time in this, but I have communicated with other people, and there's a conference, in fact, in England this summer in August about the logics of George Spencer Brown. I was hoping to send them a paper, but I didn't manage to finish it yet because I'm stuck with the theorem prover, which is almost finished. I mean, it does some remarkable proofs, but there are certain sentences that it still has a problem to prove, and I know why. It's totally different work than the usual work on LLMs. You know, I'm reading about LLMs, studying them. I don't have the hardware to implement them, but anyway. I was
Yeah,
not planning to talk at all. Yeah.
it's all good and nice to meet you, have you in this community.
Nice to
And
meet you.
yeah,
Yep.
I think there's a lot of people looking forward to your presentation, and so please
Yeah,
contact
I'll do my
Melissa.
best. Anyway, I'll say goodbye because I kept you way out more than your schedule.
Yeah, we are
So
like more than an hour over the
I'm
time.
It
sorry
happens
about
all the
that.
time.
Uh,
Really.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Dave, you have your hands up. You want to talk?
Yes, I just wanted to say I put my 3-minute pitch for the informal stewardship contracts in the deep thinking channel on Discord. So if anybody wants to add their thoughts to that, um, it's on Discord in the deep thinking channel.
Thank you. All right.
Oh, I'm struggling with buttons.
No
Lower
worries.
hand.
All right, I got to go. So I
Yes.
don't know if what is happening, but I'm leaving. Uh, I don't know if Chimo, you have a couple of minutes, or if this call is gonna last longer. What's the plan here?
I think it's fading away, so I'm gonna stop recording and everything.